his acceptance speech is a historic one, okay? It was his best speech so far. And not only was it his best speech so far, I can't remember a time where I have heard any politician, regardless of what level they're at, whether it be running for mayor, whether it be running for president, whether it be running for Senate, governor, whatever, I cannot recall a single time post-Obama where I have heard a politician deliver a speech and I'm listening to it and I'm thinking, this will be written about, okay? It was his absolute best speech. Like, there were funny moments that turned the volume up. Like, that's not what I'm talking about. Coming out of the gate swinging with class first language, okay? With a Eugene Debs quote. Like, I'm telling you, there was something there. It was electric. He did not pull punches. And I think the reason why Van Jones is behaving this way is because obviously he's a stooge for Israel. He quoted Mario Cuomo, which was incredible.
Thank you, my friends. The sun may have set over our city this evening, but as Eugene Debs once said, I can see the dawn of a better day for humanity.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
For as long as we can remember, the working people of New York have been told by the wealthy and the well-connected that power does not belong in their hands. Fingers bruised from lifting boxes on the warehouse floor, palms calloused from delivery bike handlebars, knuckles scarred with kitchen burns. These are not hands that have been allowed to hold power. And yet, over the last 12 months, you have dared to reach for something greater. Tonight, against all odds, we have grasped it. The future is in our hands. My friends, we have toppled a political dynasty. I wish Andrew Cuomo only the best in private life. But let tonight be the final time I utter his name. As we turn the page on a politics that abandons the many and answers only to the few. New York, tonight you have delivered a mandate for change. A mandate for a new kind of politics. A mandate for a city we can afford. And a mandate for a government that delivers exactly that. On January 1st, I will be sworn in as the mayor of New York City. So before I say anything else, I must say this. Thank you. Thank you to the next generation of New Yorkers who refuse to accept that the promise of a better future was a relic of the past. You showed that when politics speaks to you without condescension, we can usher in a new era of leadership. We will fight for you because we are you. Or as we say on Steinway, ana minkum wa ilaykum.
Man, I need that hoodie, Hasan. Well, you can get it at ideology.shop. You can get it at ideology.shop. Union made, US made. The back is even cooler. The front says disarm, but the back is even cooler. Yeah, here was Scott Jennings and Van Jones tag teaming this speech.
The White House should be listening?
I mean, look, these are blue states, and Democrats were supposed to win.
It is really interesting, though. The cope coming from the right and the center is identical. Oh, this victory is meaningless. Oh, they only spent like $100 million attacking the dude every second of the day and literally concocted a spoiler candidate. Oh, it's not that big of a deal. Ah, who cares? And you hear that from Matt Iglesias all the way to Van Jones and Scott Jennings. This is the reason why I showed you AOC's statement last night on Abby Phillips. Because Zohran didn't just fight back and win against the Republican in a city-wide election where 75% of the vote is usually going to go to the Democratic candidate. He fought back against the establishment Democrats as well. There is a real moment here. There is a real moment here. This is a people-backed candidacy, a class-first politics going up against the forces of capital, okay?
So I wouldn't overread it. Virginia, in particular, has never been a great bellwether. I don't think a lot of folks had a lot of confidence in the Virginia campaign that was run on the Republican side. And New Jersey is New Jersey. So I would hesitate to overread it. I don't think the concerns you raised are illegitimate political strategy concerns. You know, I think I just want to offer condolences to Chuck Schumer. Honestly, what I'm reading here in New York City is that AOC is going to be the next senator from New York after she gets done whooping his rear end in the 2028 Democratic primary. And for his Senate races in 2026, I see the energy in the Democratic Party tonight behind a socialist, and I see the energy in Virginia, Democrats looking the other way on a violent candidate for Attorney General who says he wants...
It's your boy Jesus. Why are you watching this Neo baby artard? Ha ha ha. What is a Neo baby? Why are you so full of hate? What's happening? Did the Roach Master quit streaming or something? We're getting a... What's a Neo baby?
...to murder Republicans and their children. If you think you're getting rid of Graham Plattner in Maine now, think again. This is a terrible night
they got new types of
Democratic
babies.
Image, given what is happening inside their party. Mamdani is an avowed socialist. It's not what people say that he is, it's what he says that he is. He's now the leader of their party. That's their energy, and Chuck Schumer's
He's the leader of the Democratic Party?
Let's swear.
There is no... Who is the leader? Can someone tell me?
He's a life raft for Republicans who have to go on TV and get their asses kicked.
You own this now. You all own this now.
We've had progressive mayors. I don't think anybody thought that de Blasio...
He's the best actor you all have, is he not?
No disrespect to my new boy, Bilbo, okay? No disrespect to Bill de Blasio, but I think there is a difference here, right? There is a little bit of a difference here. Yes, New York has had progressive mayors in the past, okay? But New York in its history has only had 2 socialist mayors, and this is the only relevant contemporary historic example, okay? And that's precisely the reason why all of you sitting in your ivory tower are spending every waking moment attacking him. This is the most uniparty these guys have been in a long time, just openly saying the quiet part out loud over and over again. Make no mistake, if he was the same exact like regular progressive Democrat, there wouldn't be this level of angst and this level of animosity, right? Let's be real. That's just the truth. Yeah, we'll get to the Ross Douthat video in a second.
Listen,
Mamdani.
Here's what I'll say. I'm a lot happier than you are sad. You're saying I'm happy. You know why? Buyer's remorse from independents. Independents gave Donald Trump a shot. Buyer's remorse. The Latin community gave him a shot. You see buyer's remorse. Black men gave Trump a shot. They've come back
They
home.
didn't.
Buyer's remorse. Why?
They didn't. That's just bad. That's just bad commentary. Like, you could say that about the Hispanic vote. You can't even say that about black men. That's just that's bull. The margins for black men were so narrow. It was nothing. It was nothing. Okay? God, it's just like, this is just wrong. This is just wrong. This is wrong analysis. I cannot believe it. Of course, Dems are going to take the wrong messaging from this and claim voters love their inaction this time. God.
Because people are sick of the status quo. That's why they voted for Trump the first time. That's why they voted him out the second time. That's why they voted him back in. People want change. And Donald Trump said he was going to do something about grocery prices. He's done everything, but he's putting in gold toilets in the White House. He's tearing up. He's gallivanting around the world. And you're seeing buyer's remorse in places where Republicans had some hope. This thing is starting to settle out now. This is about basic needs that people have and basic rights people expect. That's what seems to be under fire from this administration. And if they think they can spin and talk and spin and talk and nobody's going to notice that, they just got proven wrong tonight. People's basic needs are not being met. One of the things that I think people are seeing, not just from Mamdani, but from the moderates as well, this focus on kitchen table issues. We used to talk about this in weird ways. Income inequality, wealth disparity, economic justice. People who
didn't say it that way.
but we had a lot of syllables, man. It was people describing a problem they didn't have, okay? Now you got people who are talking like the people who have the problem. I can't afford nothing. And somebody who can talk that way, whether they're on the left of our party or the middle of our party, is going to have a big audience. And this buyer's remorse that's setting in now from other people is a big problem for Republicans.
I think two big takeaways. So listen, I think there's this divide within the Democratic Party. Is the future of the party Mamdani? Is it democratic socialism? Is it more in the likes of AOC and Bernie Sanders? He no doubt ran a good campaign. I interviewed him. He is a very formidable force in American politics. We had two female governors who were just elected, Democrats, who ran as consummate centrists. Both of them were talking about uniting the country, that there's more that unites us than divides us, both with very credible resumes. So what direction are you going to go? Because you guys need to focus on...
Rich Democrats are the reason why Democrat voters hate Democrats right now. And dude, I was a Republican who I'm proud to say I flipped to be a Democrat because of Zohran's views on normal politics. Dude, like, mashallah, hell yeah. That's crazy. What a swing. I love that. I hate Van Jones. He's basically saying the electorate is too dumb to understand the underlying social issues that stem from capitalism. Yes, he is saying that. I mean, he is a deeply, deeply cynical charlatan. And I'm so glad that Charlemagne the God, who has become like a woke warrior, okay? Look at what Charlemagne's take was on Van Jones's stupid ass criticisms, like silly ass criticisms. Once again, remember, when Van Jones is speaking, just understand, he's saying populist framework works, simplifying the messages is working. And yes, that is true. Okay, but I'm mostly referencing Van Jones's statements about how Zohran Mamdani was more aggressive than ever before. Okay? Like in his speech last night, which, by the way, was his best speech, I think. Okay, this is what I'm referencing, and I'm going to talk about Charlemagne the God's assessment after.
That Mamdani is the one you need to hear from tonight. There are a lot of people trying to figure out, can I get on this train with him or not? Is he going to include me? Is he going to be more of a class warrior even in office? I think he missed a chance tonight to open up and bring more people.
There was one person I did want to meet last night that I didn't get a chance to, and that's Mahmoud Mamdani, the GOAT. I really, really wanted to meet him, and that was the I didn't have time. We didn't make it happen, but hopefully, inshallah, one day.
Into the tent, I think his tone.
His mom is cool too, but I'm not like a very big movie person.
I think he was using the microphone in a way that he was almost yelling.
Do you not realize how unoriginal you are? Elaborate. Explain what you mean.
And that's not the Mamdani that we've seen on TikTok and the great interviews and stuff like that. So I felt like there's a little bit of a character switch here, where the warm, open, embracing guy that's close to working people.
Slop Tubers made new videos, so the roaches are coming from that. What could they have possibly made videos on? We just saw last night, like, we just saw last night, for those with eyes to see, that all of the attack ads amounted to nothing, and that people were steadfast in their approach, and that there was no, like, all of the endless amounts of both on the campaign trail, okay, stash the glasses, your edgy trend, grabbing onto hold onto some sort of success. Wait, grabbing onto hold of some sort of success? Damn, brother, you can't even celebrate when your team is winning? What's happening? Oh, they pretend now that Zohran hates you. Oh, that's what it is. Wait, that's what it is? That's awesome. Yes, it's true. You missed the LSF flooding the front page of Reddit with Hasan bad slander threads about you. There were more threads from there about you than there were about Zohran winning. I love that. Hey, Cope Harder haters. Ooh. You have to remember. This is what I was saying. Like, brother, there were tens of millions of dollars in attack ads. Tens of millions of dollars in attack ads. This is a totally different level. Okay? We're not talking about some dumb, nonsensical Reddit thread. We're talking about, like, they think that the crowd cheered for you because they mistook you for Zohran. They were using the clip about you not being allowed upstairs to prove that Zohran hates him and he doesn't get let in. Yes, this is true. Yeah. Zohran, they said you begged to be in the VIP. I can't even make memes on this stream. Like, anytime I joke about anything, people just, like, take it seriously and turn it into, like, this massively consequential incident. You not being let into the after party was on the recommended page on Twitter. What are they talking about? Guys, I was streaming the entire time. The upstairs is obviously family. Would they be saying that if you went on stage after the DJ set, like the organizers asked you to? Yes, they would still say it. There was a 25K upvote thread about you getting declined from VIP. Okay, you guys watched the stream, okay? You watched the stream, so you saw what the truth is, what the reality is. Doesn't that, like, if you are in the margins, right? If you're one of these people that's like, oh, I've actually found myself believing these Reddit threads, does that not surprise you at all when the truth is so different than the way it's been presented to you? Like, at some point, you gotta give up on this, right? At some point, you gotta be like, yeah, we're hating, but, like, to what end? You were in the same area as the elected officials. This is a total hallucination. Yeah, like, what? So what happens when people go, oh, you were not a part of the welcomed guests or anything like that, and then you turn around and you see me, you know, dabbing up AOC and shit. Like, how does that work? Magically, the thread of you and AOC was downvoted. Funny how that works. It's so strange. They edited a clip together to make it look like you were trying to flex your viewer count to get in. Dude, how do you spend that much time on something just to literally make whoever is, like, watching you be so far removed from the reality? I don't understand it. That's so crazy. I mean, there's no, this is a moment of excitement. So there's no reason to spend time on negative hate threads. But I think if you are in the margins, if you're, like, the type of person who's thinking, like, oh, what's up with this Hasan guy? Like, what's up with this Hasan dude? Like, all these people are hating on him, and you see threads like that, and then you see the reality, both reflected in mainstream reporting, and both reflected in just the footage that you can see from the actual entire experience. Doesn't that make you mistrust the people that deluded you into thinking this? They edited to make it sound different. It was an edited clip. It actually doesn't. I don't understand it. Lib Hogs say you're an industry plant used to, what? I saw someone say AOC only hugged you because she was so scared of backlash from her audience. It's just sad, man. At some point, you gotta live in the real world, right? Like, you gotta live in the real world at some point. Get off Reddit, chat. It'll make you feel better. Yeah, I don't really touch Reddit at all, but it is pretty funny that they're just, like, in there coping. That's awesome. It's on LSF. Hasan gets denied VIP seating at the Zohran Mamdani election party. Hasan shocked by crowd response as he exits Zohran event. This is the country that defeated the USSR, unfortunately, Hasan. That's pretty nutty. You can get, I think this is a great example of how, I think, of how you can get people who are primarily invested. Were you telling people not to share details on stream because 70,000 people were watching? That's why they edited it? Yeah, probably. I don't even remember. The top clip skips a minute. They left the countdown in the editing. Knowing the truth, this feels like staring into a mental asylum. I know. How can people be so deluded? That actually is kind of remarkable. He's so cringe, my God. That seems kind of low for him during election night. Why do you American teenagers like dog abuse is strange. That's shocking. Really jolted his confidence. He tried to rock the vote. Since they allowed videos instead of clips, the harassment has been tenfold with the edited footage. Love the cope. Damn, okay. I just wanted a drink. Yeah, okay, buddy. Bro thinks he's still in LA, bro. Nobody gives a fuck about YouTubers and streamers in the real world. Oh my God. The edit was when the guy asked if you were live, not you using your viewer count to get upstairs access. Doesn't matter anyways, because everyone's in the main floor anyways. Yeah. I swear to God, brother, I could save orphans out of a burning orphanage, and these guys would find a way to clip it in front of like hundreds of thousands of people too. And everyone is like, oh my God, I can't believe this guy saved a bunch of orphans out of a burning orphanage. And these guys will find a way to clip it so that it's like Hasan lit a match on fire. Look at Hasan. They would reverse the footage and be like, look at Hasan bringing orphans back into a burning orphanage. And thousands of people on Reddit in this like very clearly botted pose will be like, yeah, I can't believe it. He loves throwing orphans inside of a burning orphanage. This is his favorite thing. Some of them think you got kicked out. If I weren't a fan, just on the outside looking in through Reddit, I would wonder why the extremely petty attacks on you were so consistent. Like, if I only saw the hate, I would think it's suspicious as fuck they find that much. I think most people, they rely on most people. It's literally a cyber stalking subreddit. There's nothing of value on there outside of harassment. We're shining spotlights on the most unwell parts of the internet again. It's true. I mean, in case it isn't clear, people are paying for clips like this and probably the attention to. There's a whole economy around this. That's crazy. It blows my mind that it's like, it blows my mind that this is how devoted people are. You know what I mean? And it's like, they are devoted to crafting this alternative universe. And even in a moment where this should be a light shining on the falsehoods that these guys have presented as the truth, like objectively, right? Hundreds of people being like, oh yeah, dude, we canvassed, like, I'm so glad you got me tapped in with the Zohran campaign, all this stuff, like politicians, talking to them, media coverage surrounding this event. And this is what you care about? This is an internationally significant event that took place, an internationally significant election, and these guys are primarily invested in doing this stuff. That actually that makes me kind of sad. I know so many people who agree with your politics, but have fallen for the clips and believe you're crazy or some insane person. I'm always like, you got to watch the stream, man, please. And they're like, nah, stop being a fan. That guy's crazy, man. Admit it. It's all because they think a certain streamer would be in your position if he wasn't banned. Literally all that stems from that is so bad. That's crazy. Wait until you see what E's take on the election was. Like, at a certain point, you got to realize that like, you're probably not focused on the right stuff, right? Not as shocked as Kaya. Bro thinks he's him. Bet he's crashing out on Discord right now. Why would he be? His guy won. He got interviewed by a bunch of presidents, celebrated with the voters. This subreddit seems incredibly obsessed with Hasan. Well, yeah, this is where folks cannonball into their parasocial obsession. It's interesting to watch if you don't engage. Kind of. This is my first time really engaging. I've only heard of Hasan on podcasts, but goddamn, the comments in this subreddit are just annoying to read sometimes. Could be more fun, but it's a decent way to kill time. Dude, I despise Hasan, but this clip literally shows a crowd cheering for him and him just simply reacting to that. I can't believe I'm defending this dude right now, but comments like yours are just silly. How would you react in the same exact position? You would just duck and hide to not appear as him when a large crowd cheers for you? There's so much to criticize this dude for, but this is such a nothing burger. I do stay away from this stuff because I think it's brain poison for the most part, but it is kind of crazy that like these people do not exist in the real world. You go outside and you see he's beloved. There's no point in hyper focusing on the cyber stalking subreddit. It's crazy. I mean, who cares? These people don't matter. Go outside, chatters. Yeah, remember, All of this is just noise. And I think in some respects, like last night is proof, right? What is this? It's important to illustrate that this is entirely this person's community. Oh yeah. Has Z Cohen Sanchez explained her thinking behind making this empath cham person part of the Unfuck America tour? Have they simply dropped all pretense of it just not being a huge money grab for racist grifters? Yeah, remember that like meth smoking blackface doing crackhead? Yeah, apparently that's like that's Sex Pestini's new girl. Anyway, that's a crazy thing to look at. I made a fake cancellation and right-wingers believed it. Hasan Piker caught bribing journalists with Johnny Walker Blue Label and Hot Mic moment.
Tell us to drink.
No, it's fine.
No, it's the rule.
No, it's not
If this is Mamdani event,
for you.
why
It's not for
food
you.
and drink free? Google Reddit user Therendril, since his post history is hidden. He's a professional Hasan poster on 2 specific subreddits. You can guess which. The only IRL hater of yours I've ever met was at a college party, and after rambling for half an hour to me in a cocaine-fueled psychotic rant, he got pressed for harassing a girl at the party, then jumped out of the 3rd-story window to get away, breaking his leg and screaming in the front lawn until the ambulance came. That's awesome. Don't get comfortable, bro. The media hasn't gotten a hold of the content nuke yet. Count your days. Yeah. All right, let's keep going with
national
this.
election again. It's been a minute since that's happened, and I think you're going to get a lot farther with the Mikey Sherrill and with the Abigail Spanberger approach. But let me
Hold on. I got to go to. As soon as you're done.
we'll get to the Mamdani a bit later.
Caitlin Collins of the White House got some.
Why aren't you doing anything about that subreddit? It's just so malicious. They purposely maliciously edited that clip. You need to reach out to Reddit and report how malicious they are. They don't give a shit, bro. Come on. It moves numbers. Even if it's like botted, it still moves numbers. They don't care. And also, I just spent the last 30 minutes explaining to you how psychotic this framing is and how little it has real world impact. At most, I genuinely believe that a lot of that stuff unironically causes at least some people in the margins who had never heard of me to know what my name is and maybe develop a negative attitude towards me, but at least like come in here and watch and see for themselves. And then they realize like, oh, this is just not true at all. Because obviously the greatest antidote to that kind of smear is just, being true to yourself. What is this? I'm a fan from the other side in the real world, Debunking. Okay, I look a lot cooler from this angle. The 9/11 shit was the biggest thing they could find, and it didn't work. They have nothing, and they know it. It's why they're hyper focusing on the smallest details. It's so weird. Some of the comments are like, comments are on W. Glad he's distancing himself from Hasan. Like they have genuinely positive views towards yours/Zohran's type of politics. The only reason they have, no, those are that's the same principle behind people thinking like, oh, Zohran actually has my opinion on Israel and not Hasan's opinion on Israel. Like, there's no daylight between me and Zohran on Israel. There's the reason why they keep attacking him. In any case, Olivia Reingold wrote about her coverage of Zohran last night. Watching your stream yesterday made me rethink how much motion you actually have. Yeah. All right. Let's continue.
Back to all these wins. Caitlin, what are you hearing?
Well, Anderson, actually, it's been pretty quiet here at the White House, which is telling in and of itself. The president himself has not posted on Truth Social in about 4 hours since earlier tonight when he was announcing a staffing decision. That is obviously something that you likely wouldn't hear had there been any major Republican victories tonight. But this is a key question of how the White House and how the president will be interpreting these big Democratic wins tonight in New Jersey and in Virginia and in the New York City mayor's race, all 3 of which the president was involved to some degree. Yes, he did not outright endorse in Virginia there for the Republican candidate in the gubernatorial race, but he certainly did there in New Jersey. He hosted multiple tele-rallies for Jack Ciattarelli. The Republican National Committee poured a lot of money into that race. And obviously, he got directly involved in the New York City's mayor's race last night when he endorsed Andrew Cuomo. And so it'll be really telling to see how the White House interprets these results tonight, because earlier when I had been speaking with officials is whether or not they saw this as a referendum on the president's first 9 months in office. Anderson, basically what they were saying is that they were in wait-and-see mode. They wanted to see how these results turned out tonight before they tied any of them closely to the president. We've seen some reaction coming in already tonight from former Trump campaign advisors saying that they believe this is a candidate quality issue and that Republicans need to run better candidates who are more in line with the president in order to secure victories. But we'll be able to hear from the president himself tomorrow. He's actually hosting Republican lawmakers, Republican senators, to be exact here, Anderson, for breakfast at the White House. And reporters will be able to go into the room there and ask the president himself, what does he make of these victories by Democrats tonight?
All right, Caitlin, thanks very much. Is this a candidate quality issue?
Well, you know, I think that there were questions about the candidate in Virginia, and the president was sort of never really did officially endorse her, did he?
Nope.
But, you know, in Jersey, he fully embraced the candidate and praised him as a great candidate. And now it was a candidate quality problem. I mean, that is, sometimes the spin is so obvious that you shouldn't even bother because people can recognize it for what it is. I mean, the fact is, there is a mood in this country of dissatisfaction. As Van said, they took a shot on Trump because they were unhappy with the conditions, the economic conditions under Biden. They felt he was ineffectual in dealing with them. Trump promised to focus on those, and that's not what he's done. And they're sending a message. So you can try and spin your way through that, or you can try and rearrange your priorities and focus more on the things that affect people's lives.
It's interesting in New York, and this exit polling asks, is crime where you live a major problem, minor problem, not a problem? The majority, 51%, said a minor problem, which kind of surprises me.
Why? Why does it surprise you, Anderson? Why would that surprise you? Of course it's unsurprising. Edited like a snarker thumbnail. The Free Beacon having a totally normal one. That's awesome. Why would that be surprising? That is the most consistent thing. In the United States of America, everybody thinks, if you look at the polls, this is not new, okay? And Anderson Cooper is a nationally prominent political commentator, okay? This is consistent. Everybody thinks crime is happening just elsewhere. That's literally it. The crime panic is everywhere but where I live. That is the most common and consistent position. People always think that there is a ton of crime happening, just not in their neighborhood. So, of course, when they're asked directly, do you think there's crime in your neighborhood? They're going to say no, because crime is at historic lows again. There was a brief moment where it peaked during COVID, and now it's back to the same historical pattern.
And also given the attention that the president was putting.
Well, but that was part of Cuomo's problem, is that Eric Adams, whatever you want to say about him, had actually done a reasonably good job of bringing some of the crime down. You know, the subways were getting a little bit
the
safer.
police commissioner also, who Mamdani says he will keep on.
Will keep on.
Yeah, Glaze, anybody but Zohran Mamdani.
Is actually moving in the right direction. Cuomo comes out and he's going to do a campaign that's mainly about public safety, but it felt a little bit flat. And I think the other thing that you have to understand is not only did Mamdani run a campaign that's going to be studied forever, Cuomo could have been Mamdani's co-chair of Mamdani's campaign. He did a terrible job. He was bubble wrapped. I've talked to grassroots people who said that he would basically ghost grassroots groups. He would insist, if I come, you can't have your cell phones. It was like he was entitled to this, and he was going to deign to show up at the grassroots level. That actually does not work. You've got to be at the community level, and that's why he lost.
Annoying. Here's what Charlemagne, the God, had to say about Van Jones.
Any of that divisive? I personally loved that he covered all bases. He talked about working with police, helping people with mental health issues. He talked about helping the homeless, trans people, black women, Jewish people, the Muslim community. Most importantly, he spoke to the working class of all races. Van Jones didn't like that. He thought it was divisive.
I think he missed an opportunity. The Mamdani that we saw on the campaign trail, who was a lot more calm, who was a lot warmer, who was a lot more embracing.
Where the f does Jones get this analysis from? It's called $100 million from Jeff Bezos. Literally look it up. Jeff Bezos gave him straight up, no questions asked, $100 million. He also is one of Van Jones, despite his early beginnings as an activist and a movement builder, as a Maoist third worldist. This is real. You can also look that up as well. He is a massive AIPAC stooge, okay? He is deeply, deeply in the pockets of the Israel lobby. He is such a annoying person. He is so goddamn annoying. He has notoriously the worst takes. For every like one good take he has 1,000 bad takes. I mean, this man cried after Joe Biden dropped out. Okay, that's all you need to say. You just make fun of him, point, laugh, and move on. It's not even worth it.
Was not present in that speech. He was almost yelling. That said, he's very young, and he just pulled off something that's very, very difficult. But I think he missed an opportunity to open himself up tonight, and I think that will probably cost him going forward.
Man, shut the F up, Ever. Okay? Damn. There was no opportunity missed. The man just won, and he deserved to take a victory lap. There's absolutely nothing divisive about calling out bad landlords who take advantage of tenants, calling out billionaires who are corrupt and don't pay their fair share of taxes, and administration trying to implement an authoritarian strategy on America. There is no...
I can't believe this man's political evolution. I can't believe it. This dude literally went from being a Pete Buttigieg booster to being a Michael Bloomberg booster to whatever he has become now. Oh my God, Charlemagne the God. Actually, unironically, the God, okay? The actual God.
Nothing wrong with calling that out. See, the reason a lot of things don't change in this country is because you don't have enough politicians that are willing to challenge capitalism. And Zohran is doing that.
Very hard for me to get inside of Van Jones's head, but I would remind people that Van Jones in 2017 is the guy who gave us the most famous line of the first Trump administration. Van Jones on CNN said, tonight he became president of the United States. Van Jones thinks that Donald Trump gives unifying speeches that make him president, but thinks Zohran Mamdani, who's united a multiracial, multicultural, multi-income coalition, is divisive. That tells you more about Van Jones than it does tell you about Zohran Mamdani. I mean, Jared Kushner's pal wasn't a fan of Zohran Mamdani's anti-oligarchy, anti-Trump speech. I'm shocked.
Please give Van Jones the biggest hee-haw.
Damn. Donkey of the day. That's awesome. Respect.